Hey everyone, welcome. It's been a few days since I've done an update on these earthquakes and this possible eruption, so I thought I would just do a quick video, go through what's been going on over the past couple of days. It has been pretty quiet, so if you want to sort of get the Cole's notes on this whole video, I haven't felt any earthquakes in a while, and I know I keep saying that, but we had one last weekend that was big, and I did a video on that, and there was a few in a row. But ever since then, it seems like everything's been pretty quiet. And even the news is saying it's quieter than usual. Now, first thing I want to do is what we always do on this channel is we want to go through this Icelandic Met Office, take a look at the earthquakes that have been going on over the last 48 hours and see, basically what's the data saying. So you can see here, it does look like quite a bit of activity still if we zoom on in. There are less of these green stars than we've seen in previous videos, and the green ones are a magnitude over 3. So the last video I think I posted, we saw a ton of them. It was just, a bunch of these green stars everywhere. And now you can see that there's very few, maybe 3 of them are here. We take a look at the graph down here. We can see before, again, last video we saw over 5 magnitude. And now we can see that they are sort of on this trajectory of going down. Now, I know a lot of people in the comments say that it does sort of release a big one, settles down for a bit as the pressure builds up again, and then potentially there could be an eruption. And I know, I think some people were saying, St. Helens and other eruptions that they've experienced have done this similar sort of thing. Again, based on the comments that I'm getting. But I guess we're going to wait and see. Let's take a look at the table and see the raw data just real quick. A couple of weeks ago, we were looking at totals over 48 hours in the thousands, and now we're below 1,000. We're at 953, and you can see a magnitude more than 3. There's only been 5, which is really great news. And if we look at 3 or larger, and we open that, you can see that they're spaced out quite a bit, and they're for the most part the lower 3s. I don't know if that really makes a big difference, but yeah. It's good news overall. So let's move on to the actual news portion of this. So what I have here is a graph, and what this is showing is all of the volcanic systems on the Reykjanes Peninsula, and those are colored pink, and the rafts are red, and the geothermal areas are yellow. So we can see that there's quite a bit here. Obviously Reykjavik's here. We have the airport down on this side here. And if you've seen some of my previous videos, Grindavik, it's a great place to visit. So hopefully it's still all in one piece when travel resumes. Which, by the way, actually Iceland just opened up travel to people who have vaccinations from around the world. So all you people in the United States, if you want to come to Iceland and you've already got your COVID vaccine, come on over because the border is open. You don't need to go into quarantine or anything like that. I would double check on covid.is just to make sure that the information I'm giving you hasn't changed, but that was the latest. So back to the volcano stuff. You can see based on this map, there's a ton of the rifts and seismic activity that can occur in this area. So if we're going towards what the news is saying is a lot of people are saying that they imagine that the earthquake is just going to fade away, but they do also acknowledge that the eruption could come at just any time, and it could be in a number of places. But they're thinking that it will just sort of go lower and lower, and based on the previous eruptions in the 20th century, the eruptions are usually very small, and they're basing all of that data just on everything that's happened previously. One of the news reporters were saying that the largest eruptions in the last century were Hekla, and it was in 1947 with 0.8 cubic kilometers of lava. And all these other ones that are erupting are apparently smaller, around 0.2 or 0.3 cubic kilometers. And so that's not really something that is going to be devastating to the people of Iceland or Grindavik or surrounding areas. Now, recently they did close some of the roads in this area just to be safe because the large earthquakes are cracking the roads, and they just want to ensure the safety of the people who are driving through. But again, I do want to stress that these are educated guesses and there's no certainty. So who knows? I mean, all of a sudden there could be just a massive eruption and really devastate the entire region. But based on all the information they have and all the measurements they're taking, it looks like that's not going to be the case. So let's look at one other map before we get into it. And this here is a drawing, and it's basically a drawing and a map of the lava flow that flowed from this area, I believe quite a while ago. And yeah, so it's basically just taking a look at where the lava could possibly go. And it's, as you can see, I mean, there's not, there's a lot of activity around this area here. With Keilir and the area that sort of is in question. But, this is far away from Grindavik. The lava has flowed previously. Again, this is sort of some previous data is going into this. There's previously flowed from all directions. But they're saying that no eruption has occurred in the area itself. And it's known that it erupted there 40,000 years ago under a glacier, but I mean, that's a long time that this area has gone without an eruption. Now, one thing though, if you have been to Iceland, you will notice, and as I said before, driving from the airport to Reykjavik, you do pass this Reykjanes Peninsula, of course, and if you look out into the sort of towards the mountains of this area, you'll notice it's just pure lava fields. So it's not so distant that there's been an eruption that the land has regenerated and sort of everything's kind of settled down. But the news is saying that they're feeling it's probably going to just fade out. And it's sort of up and down. And I know every single time I post a video, I'm just like, the news is saying an eruption is going to happen. And then the next day it's sort of like, nope, they're saying everything's going to be fine. But I think they're saying now that, especially since we've gone a few days, or was it five days since I've felt a big earthquake or an earthquake in general in Reykjavik. I know the Grindavik people are feeling, I think, a bit more comfortable with the less of the earthquakes and the lower magnitudes, but they're saying that the longer that this continues, the more likely that there will not be an eruption. So it's something to consider. And my guess is maybe this is just it. Maybe we're done with it, and this is maybe going to be one of the last videos I do on this subject, and I'll just go back to the same old stuff I'm doing for the channel. But the videos are going to get more and more spaced out if nothing goes on. And I guess the next update I'm going to do would just be if there's a earthquake or an eruption or any other breaking news. But as I said, things are quieting down, which is good, and that's what we wanted. So I hope you enjoyed this update. I know it was a lot of information and yet very little information at the same time. But, leave in the comments if you got more stuff. There's a lot of information out there on the Icelandic news sites. Some of them are in English, which is also why I'm doing these videos, is sort of taking a look at what's going on in the news and being able to relay that information to the English-speaking world. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And if you want updates, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you like this video, hit the like button. Any comments you have or any tips or news, you can just put that in and I will try to read and possibly respond to everyone. So until next time, thanks.